I'm Claire Smith and welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be my April fragrance tray. I'm going to pick 10 fragrances from my collection for April, and I'm also just going to talk you through what I was wearing most in March. So if you haven't seen me before, I'm Claire and I make videos all about perfume. So if that kind of thing interests you and you haven't already done so, then please do consider subscribing, and please also like this video if you do end up liking this kind of content. So March, how was it for you? It was really busy for me. I was at work a lot and doing lots of extra things on top. So I'm doing a teaching course and I had some assignments to do during March for that. So really I was reaching for fragrances just off my tray most of the month. But I did also get a few new fragrances during March that I did end up wearing a few times as well. So my most worn fragrance from my tray during March was without doubt Coach EDP. I could have predicted this one. It's just a really easy reach kind of fragrance, and when you're busy, those fragrances are invaluable. So yeah, definitely my most worn during March. So I also wore a few of my newer fragrances during March, so I've picked up a few new ones, and you know, it's exciting, isn't it, when you get a new fragrance, you want to wear it. So the one that I ended up wearing the most out of my newer pickups was Phoenix Flame by Mabelle O'Rama. So Mabelle O'Rama, I own 2 of her other fragrances. She's only got 3 in total, so I own all of them now. And Mabelle offered me this one as, you know, PR, and I was so pleased to get to try this because I'd missed the sample email when she'd offered them because it'd gone to my junk mail. And then I felt like, oh, I don't really want to buy a bottle of something I've never tried. So I was just really pleased to get this travel spray because it gets me an opportunity to try it out. So this fragrance, I'm just blown away by. Mabelle is such a talented perfumer. I'm really impressed by her offerings. You know, for someone who's just starting out, to have 3 out of 3 of things that I absolutely adore is just astounding to me. So this fragrance, I think it's not going to be for everyone. It's quite a spicy one, this. It's got sumac, so it's got this kind of earthy, deep, hot feeling spiciness. But it's also got a lot of resins here, and I just really love the resins in the dry down as well. This one, I'd say, even though I would describe it as hot and spicy and earthy, I think it's actually quite gentle on the whole. It's something that is quite wearable. I'm not really someone who absolutely loves hot spicy fragrances. I wouldn't ever describe that as my scent profile, but I'm really quite enamoured with this one, and I really think that it's not just, you know, a deep dead of winter kind of fragrance. This is something that I'm happy to wear well into spring. Maybe not summer, but definitely into spring and certainly autumn. So yeah, Mabelle O'Rama, Phoenix Flame, really been enjoying this one during March. So for April, I'm expecting spring properly. It was warm one minute and then it was cold and rainy or windy the next, and I'm really expecting April to be a lot better. So I want some nice spring florals and I want some pastel coloured fragrances as well. But let's start off with my newest pickup. So this first fragrance feels incredibly random to me because this is something that really wasn't on my radar. I tried it in store and I'd felt, you know, positively towards it, but quite indifferent in a way. It hadn't had me at hello, and I ended up winning a bottle of this on Instagram. I won this from Dina's Scent Tales, and it was sent all the way from Dubai, and it was sent around my birthday, so it felt like a birthday gift. I was kind of excited to try it again. So this one is Xerjoff's Naxos. So this fragrance, I think it recently won the Best Niche Fragrance Award on the Fragrantica Awards. I can kind of see why. I didn't really understand at the time, but having gone back and tried this, I can see why this is so appealing to people. So this is just a very sweet, very easygoing kind of fragrance. Really, the best way I could describe this would be fluffy. To me, it smells fluffy. So this is often described as a honey and tobacco fragrance, but I would say for me, the tobacco is so gentle here. If you think that tobacco is something that you can't wear, definitely go and try this one because it's very soft. So this, for me, is more about the tonka. It's a soft, pillowy tonka. It's almost a little bit spicy as well with some cinnamon, but the spiciness is more of a warmth. It's a gentle warmth overall. There's also some lavender here, and that again adds to that kind of pillowy softness of this fragrance. And really, I feel like this one is probably voted as the best niche fragrance of all time just because of how friendly it is. It's friendly, it's inviting, and it's just something that you would wear if you wanted to disarm people. It's one of those charming kinds of fragrances. has a mass appeal to it, and that's probably what helped it to win that award. Really long lasting, and it's something you can really control how strong it is by how much you spray. I really felt like if this is winning the Best Niche Fragrance Award, it'd be something that's just instantaneously a beast. And it's not. It's something you can definitely control. I've really enjoyed getting to know this a bit more in March, and I want to get to know it even more in April. So that's why it's going on my tray. So this one is Xerjoff's Naxos. So the next fragrance is one that I bought back in autumn, and I really bought it out of season, and I felt like it's really a spring summer fragrance. So I've waited pretty much the whole 6 months to wear this again. And it needs more love because I've only worn it probably about 2 or 3 times total since I've had it. So this one is Chopard's Sparkling Love. So I absolutely love by Chopard. And this is the flanker fragrance to that fragrance. So this is a really lovely creamy white floral fragrance, but with citrusy undertones. I'd say it's mainly tuberose, but there's definitely some jasmine here as well. And to me, this makes me think of tropical fruits. It makes me think of things like papaya. And I'm not quite sure what's doing that, but it definitely has a bit of a tropical undertone to it. Very, very solar feeling, very bright. And I really appreciate that this isn't soapy. So this one I picked up, as I said, last autumn, and it was a bargain fragrance. For 30ml, I think I paid about £12 for it. If you are interested in just an easygoing, creamy white floral with a bit of a tropical feel, this is a great fragrance for not a lot of money. So that's Chopard's Sparkling Love. So the next fragrance is one that I was gifted by Jardin back last year sometime, and it's a little 5ml travel spray of Venus of Verbena. I think if you think about lemon verbena fragrances, you'll probably think about L'Occitane Verveine. That one is very bright and very green feeling, at least in the opening, and it dries down into a kind of slightly woodier fragrance, and it's very short-lived. Venus of Verbena from Jardin is longer lived, but I say it's more along the lines of the floral aspects of lemon verbena. To me, this smells like a lemon preserved in oil. You know, get those preserved Italian lemons in oil. It's like how one of those smells from the jar, but it's also got a kind of floral aspect to this. It's a polleny kind of yellowy floral feeling, almost like something along the lines of between a mimosa and maybe an immortelle, that kind of style, yellow, oily kind of floral to me. It's much longer lasting than L'Occitane Verveine, and that's why I've sort of warmed to this one. I didn't really love this to begin with, but the more I've worn this, the more I've begun to understand it. I think this fragrance just really suits spring more than it suits summer. It's just not that kind of refreshing, bright feeling lemon verbena. It's more of a floral version of it. So that's Venus of Verbena by Jardin. So the next fragrance is one that I always think of as a very spring-like fragrance, and this one is the EDT version of Le Premier Parfum from Lolita Lempicka. There are so many different versions of this fragrance, and you can tell the vintage EDT because it has this kind of cut-out edge in a heart shape on the side of the bottle. But this one I just think is infinitely more suitable for the springtime because it's just lighter. So this one for me is more about the almond and it's more about the iris. It's all about the powdery notes and just the creaminess really, but it's also got a freshness to it. Whereas I think the EDP is heavier on the violet, it's heavier on the cherry, it's heavier on the licorice and the anise. This one's just more gentle overall. If the EDP is the bad fairy temptress, then the EDT is the good fairy who's minding her own business and who is keeping her nose clean. This just has a really clean creaminess to me about it, but it also does have a slight muskiness in the dry down, just like the EDP, but it doesn't go quite to the depths of the darkness like the original EDP does. I think overall this one's just a very ethereal feeling, clean fragrance, and it's something that I'm going to wear to work this month. So that's the EDT version of Le Premier Parfum from Lolita Lempicka. So this next fragrance is from a line that you either love or you hate, and I'm slightly odd in this respect because I'm not so keen on the original EDP, but I do really love some of the flankers. So this one is Nettare de Fiori and it's from the Gucci Bloom line. So this one I think is discontinued, but I do really like a lot of the Gucci Bloom flankers and I think they're worth trying. I particularly like the red one. I think that's called Ambrosia de Fiori. And this one I just think is magical. So this one, The thing I like about it is that it's slightly fresher than the original Gucci Bloom. Gucci Bloom to me is quite indolic. This one still is indolic, but I think it's freshened up by a bit of fresh ginger in the beginning. And it's really very subtle, but it just makes the whole thing just nicer to me. It's got a slightly watery edge to this one as well. And I think it makes me think of a garden after the rain. It makes me think of you being near some honeysuckle at night when it's slightly damp, when it's still got some raindrops on it. It's got that kind of feeling to it. I think the tuberose is really tamed by the ginger here, and it just has this kind of slight sweetness, but it's also a little bit green and watery, and I really love that very naturalistic feel to this fragrance. So I just feel this one's perfect for spring, and I'm happy to wear this one way into summer as well. So this one's Gucci Bloom Nettare de Fiori. So next I want some pastel feeling fragrances. So I want some purple florals, but I also want some almonds, something creamy. So this next fragrance is Miyake's Dropped Issey. I think this is a perfect spring fragrance. It's very fresh and very clean, and it's something that I like wearing to work. So that's why it's going on my tray this month, because I will definitely wear this one to work. So this is something that really reminds me of body creams. It makes me think of moisturisers. It also makes me think a little bit of sun creams, although it's not very sun creamy. But it's definitely got a bit of a solar feel to it, and there's also some lilac in the beginning, and that really calms down very quickly and is replaced by something that smells more along the lines of body lotion. Always makes me think of Nivea creams, but it's not quite as sharp as Nivea cream smells to me. But yeah, it's just a really clean feeling, out of the shower, fresh feeling, moisturiser style fragrance. So that's Dropped Issey by Miyake. So the next fragrance is the ultimate in spring fragrances for me, and I feel like it's faded a little bit from the consciousness of YouTube, but I still absolutely love this one. And I remember the first time I tried it, I actually blind bought this fragrance. I saw it on a really good deal in a shop, and I was really worried I wouldn't like it, because people tend to have a very split opinion on this one. It's either a love or it's a hate. And for me, it was an absolute love, and it's so strong. You don't need very much of this at all. This bottle is going to last me 4 years. This one's Insolence by Guerlain. So this one is a slightly fruity feeling, deep, powdery, Parma violet fragrance. It's just really joyful, and it feels very youthful as well. So this one, I feel like this really reflects me, because I absolutely love violet in everything. I love violet sweets. I love violet biscuits. In fact, I got some violet biscuits for Christmas, so I got gifted these from Fortnum & Mason's. People really know I love violet. So yeah, this one just is spring for me, and I'm really looking forward to bringing this one out, because I don't really tend to wear it in the summer. I don't wear it in the winter. I normally wear it in the autumn and in the spring. So I can't wait to start wearing this one. So that's Insolence by Guerlain. So carrying on from the pastel choices, I've got 2 choices really for around Easter. And I feel like I don't know which of these to pick for Easter itself. It might be this one, it might be the next one. So this one is Lilac Love by Amouage. And I think I last put this one on my tray in wintertime. And that was because it was new in my collection and I was excited to wear it. But I feel like now is probably the time that it's best suited to. I feel like this is a spring fragrance. It's when lilacs are out, isn't it? It's May. May time is when lilacs appear. So this fragrance, I just absolutely love it, because I love the powderiness, I love the white chocolatey feel, I love the almost butteriness of it. It's very rich and enveloping and big, this fragrance, but big in a floral way. And it's also got that really dense vanilla as well. It's just a very delicious feeling, but also very floral feeling fragrance. It's really a floral gourmand fragrance, this one. I can't wait to wear this one. If I go out anywhere, I'm going to wear this. So that's Lilac Love. So my alternative for Easter is going to be Heliotrope from Reminiscence. I really had a moment with this fragrance a few years ago. I was totally obsessed with it. And I smelt it again the other day, and I thought, yep, I'm just taken straight back to that moment of when I first smelt it and when I first fell in love with it. I've got the entire series of this line, and I love all of them. They all sort of showcase different aspects of almond, and this one sort of gives you the marzipan-y style almond, which I absolutely love. And this has a bit of freshness to it because it's got fig in the opening, but the fig just gives it a kind of creaminess overall, really. You know how fig can sort of come off as sandalwood, can come off as coconut, and you know there's a lot of crossover, isn't there, with fig. This one is more like a creamy fig. It's a rich fig. This to me is just the ultimate in indulgence. It's so rich, it's quite heavy feeling almost, but it's something that just has such a sweetness to it, and it makes me think of mini eggs. You know, the Cadbury's mini eggs you get at Easter makes me think of the coating on the mini eggs. It also makes me think of the cream cheese frosting you get on carrot cakes with a little bit of nutmeg on the top. It's got a slight spice to it, a warm cakey spice to it, but it's just a very vanillic, almondy fragrance overall, and I just find this one delicious. So that's Heliotrope by Reminiscence. So my final choice for April is one that has been on my tray a few months back, but it was in the winter time, and I really want to experience this one in the springtime, and I haven't been through a spring yet with this one, so this has to go on my tray for April just so I can try it out. So this one is Sirène by Fragrance du Bois, and I was gifted this back in, I think it was either November, I think it was late November. And this fragrance I just think is really interesting. I love the balance and play off between all of the different aspects here. It really opens with really juicy and sweet. It's a cherry and also strawberry to me fragrance. It's a red juicy fruit mix in the opening. It also has some cypriol, which is sort of gives it a slight greenness. It has a resinous, almost slightly smoky aspect to it. And then also the oud. And the oud just comes off as a nice warm fuzziness. It's quite gentle. The thing I love about this is when it dries down, it goes into this sort of almost creamy, slightly, I don't know. I've seen people in my comments describe this as smelling like a strawberry milkshake in the dry down. I don't think I'd go quite that far, but there definitely is a creamy aspect to this, and I think it's nicely balanced, the sweetness by the woodiness and by the warm fuzziness. I think if it didn't have the cypriol in particular, this would just be a very, very sweet, overbearing, too much kind of fragrance, but it's just nicely balanced. I think this one's really inventive, and I've not really smelled anything like this. So yeah, I'm going to try this one out in springtime, see how I get on with it. Whether it's just too much for springtime or whether it's absolutely perfect, I will report back next month. So that's Sirène by Fragrance du Bois. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have enjoyed the video, then please press the like button, and please also consider subscribing if you haven't done already. And please let me know what's going to be on your April tray. Do you have any special events lined up in April? Which fragrance will you be wearing for that special event? So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.